Now let's look into more concepts on plane analytic geometry. So, kung yung last time we talked about the midpoint of a line segment, or the midpoint between two points, where your midpoint is exactly in between. Yung point na yun kasi, pwede rin namang hindi talaga exactly in between. Bawa, itong scene na to might not necessarily be midpoint. Pwede natin iurong yan dito sa kabila. Oh, ito, let's say D. Or pwede rin naman dito sa area na to. Pero that goes without saying that you can have a point that divides your line segment into two parts that are not necessarily equal. The same idea actually is used to prove or to show kung anong formula gagamitin. Ito din yon. But however, AC, dagdag natin yung D, parang hindi nakakalito, this C is not anymore assumed to be 1/2 kasi hindi midpoint ang hinahanap natin. It's now assumed that AC over BC is any ratio R. So we now assume that AC over AB is that ratio R na yung C, it divides AB into two parts. With that being the case, then, and then natin yung label na midpoint kasi hindi na siya midpoint. With that being the case, then our AD over AE that we had a while ago, not a while ago, in the previous video regarding midpoint, AD over AE will then be equal to R. We already explained in the video about midpoint that the distance between AD would be x minus x sub 1, while for AE it would be x sub 2 minus x sub 1. And this time, it's not anymore 1/2, but any other ratio R. So to solve for x, we need to cross multiply. Therefore, we're going to have x minus x sub 1 is equal to R times x minus 2 minus x sub 1. So transposing here, although sir, kailangan pa bang i-distribute yung R, pwede namang hindi na. So transposing there, the formula for that point, for the point divisor, for the point that divides the line segment that connects AB into two parts that are not equal would be R times x minus 2 minus x sub 1 plus x sub 1. Similarly, we do the same procedure if we want to find the y coordinate. So, this time, I'll use color blue. This time, ito naman. Yung ating CD over BE would be equal to R. Based on the video that we had about midpoint, the distance between CD would be y minus y sub 1, and the distance between BE would be y sub 2 minus y sub 1, which is now equal to R. So using the same process, mag-cross multiply ka, y minus y sub 1 will be equal to R times y sub 2 minus y sub 1. If we transpose, then y would be equal to R times y sub 2 minus y sub 1 plus y sub 1. Therefore, the coordinate C of the point divisor, or the point that divides your line segment, will be R times x minus 2 times x minus 1 plus x sub 1, comma, R times y sub 2 minus y sub 1 plus y sub 1. Ito yung formula na yon. Ngayon, this is what we've done a while ago, but it can be generalized, and that point C can actually be internal or external. Anong ibig sabihin ng internal? Internal is what we saw a while ago, wherein if this is your point, if this is your line segment and these are the points A, B, then your point C is just somewhere in between A and B. That's your internal line division. However, if we are going to do external line division, let's label this as internal line division. However, if we are going to do external line division, yun nandito sa kabilang side, ayan. external line division has two cases. The first case is if this is your line segment whose endpoints are A, B, then case 1, C is after the second endpoint B. So, nandito yung C. Ito ngayon yung ating, assuming na collinear yan, hindi siya lang pang collinear. So, alay natin ng konti. Ito, extend natin yan. Ayan. Let's assume they're collinear. So, ayan. So, it's not literally dividing, however, na-extend and nagkaroon ng panibagong line segment na may hati pa din naman. Kanya lang, hindi mukhang AB yung nahati, but the line is divided externally. That's case 1. Case 1. Ang case 2, yung C naman ay before the first endpoint A. So, kung halimbawa, ito yung first endpoint A, yan. Ito yung point C. So, ito ngayon, yung titignan mo ngayon na yung AB, quote-unquote, nahati, although hindi yung AB ang nahati. May na-extend at AB yung naging hati. At hindi siya hati equal, ha? Yan. This is case 2. And both of them are what we call your external line division. So, let's apply this concept of line division, the division of a line segment, in this specific problem. So, we are asked to find the coordinates of a point P if it divides the line segment joining A and B so that AP over PB is 1/3 and AP over PB is 3. So, dun muna tayo sa part 1. Part I, single I. Na AP over PB is equal to 1/3. So, since it's analytic geometry, if you would like to draw, you may do so. Pwede rin naman hindi. I'm not going to draw here. Now, let's just recall our formula. The formula for the point divisor C is R times x sub 2 minus x sub 1 plus x sub 1, comma, R times y sub 2 minus y sub 1 plus y sub 1. Take note that R should be, if your divisor is P, hindi C, so palitan natin to, gawin natin P. If this is point P, there you go, then R is AP over AB. Pero take a look at what's given to us. That's AP over PB. So that would mean na hindi dapat R is equal to 1/3 agad-agad. Paano po yun? So, if we are to not really sketch correctly, roughly guess, ayan, A, B. Now, let's go back to here. Case 1, internal line division. C is between the endpoints and R is in between 1 or 0. So, in short, ito yung mga proper fractions natin. So, going back here now, since this is 1/3, mukha siyang proper fraction. AP is 1, PB is 3. So, if I'm going to place P here somewhere, this is 1, and that is 3. Yan. Mukha namang hindi siya mag-extend kasi kung andito yung 1, halimbawa, in-extend natin, ano? Halimbawa lang. Ito yung P. Ito yung 1. Parang ang layo naman nun para maging 3. Although that's quite possible, pero since 1/3 yung AP over PB, we'll stick to this one here. So, delete natin yan. So now, from here, what we're going to have would be, this is AP over PB. AP over PB. So therefore, AP over AB, the R that we're going to use, AP over AB would be 1 over AB would be 1 plus 3, which is 4. So now that we know the value of R, we can then now solve for the value of P. Since we have x sub 1, y sub x, x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2, and then R. So the coordinates of point P would be, that's 1/4 times by the way, we have to be very specific that x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. A is the first point, B is the second point. So, we're going to have x sub 2, that's 6 minus 2 plus 6, comma, for the ordinate, that's 1/4 times 3 minus negative 5 plus, oops, sorry, dapat pala hindi 6. So, wait a minute. For this one here, this should be 6 minus 2 plus 2. While here, 3 minus negative 5 plus negative 5. Yeah. Plus negative 5. Yeah. So, therefore, what we're going to have here would be 6 minus 2 would be 4. So, sulit natin na. Therefore, that would be 1/4 times 4 plus 2. While on the other hand, that's 1/4 times 8 plus negative 5. So, therefore, point P, let's continue here. That be 1/4 times 4, that would be 1 plus 2, while 1/4 times 8, that's 2 plus negative 5. Therefore, we're going to have P with the coordinates 3, negative 3. So that's the point divisor if AP over PP equals 3. 1/3. Ito. Now, what would happen if in double I, AP over PB equals 3? Paano yun, sir? Nawala na po yung PB. So, if we're going to have a line segment like this, AB, your AP is 3. Now, take note here that it is positive, yung AP. Kasi, ba't natin minention? Because R can be negative. But in this specific case, since we're not given with an exact R, but it's still not negative, so, ang isa nating case would be case 1, if this is external line division. Ito. Kasi R is greater than 1. Ito yung una nating may isip. Although again, this is not R. That's AP over AB. Ang R natin dapat ay AP over AB. This would be our R. Now, if AP is equal to 3, then technically speaking, gusto natin ito ng konti. Okay na yun siguro. P would be somewhere here. Right. Let's extend this point here. Ayan. This can be P. And this entire length would be 3. Paano, sir, yung PB? This is 3, so its denominator would be 1. So, ito would be 1. If that is the case that AP is 3 and PB is equal to 1, therefore, AB would be equal to 2. Therefore, the ratio now would be AP is 3 while AB is 2. Which follows yung ating external line division na dapat R is greater than 1. Where P, the divisor, extends through B. So, we can then now use our formula that P would be equal to, this time R would be 3/2 times, well, the same coordinates, that's 6 minus 2 plus 2, then, comma, 3/2 times 3 minus, that's 3 minus negative 5 plus negative 5. Therefore, the coordinates of P would be 3/2 times 4 plus 2, comma, 3/2 times 8 plus negative 5. Therefore, this would be 6 plus 2, that's 3/2 times 4 would be 6. While here we're going to have, well, plus negative 5. Therefore, the coordinates of point P, of the point divisor here, would be 8, 7. And there you go. That is an example of how we apply the concept of division of line segment in solving some geometric problems.